Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Ronit, and I am one of the new nurses here until July 1, and I'm looking forward to us having a little yoga practice today. This is just going to be a quick 30-minute flow focused on shoulders and belly and a little bit of hips. Really very gentle and just kind of think like stretchy, more about relaxing, not so much about being vigorous. Lots of attention to the breath today. And it's kind of going to be themed more as a postpartum, a postnatal yoga class, but you can do it at any point in time in your life. And if you are less than 6 weeks out away from your birth and you haven't seen your provider or midwife, probably this is on our Holy Family page, then just correspond with them and make sure it's okay and safe for you to move given your whole clinical picture. But in general, around 6 weeks, it's perfect for birthing people to start resuming exercise. So let's kind of go ahead and jump right in. I like to start with breathing on a little pillow. So just put a little pillow underneath my bottom. And you can place one pillow or two pillows if you need a little bit more lift. And that way you're just a little bit elevated and you get to kind of bring the energy up. So let's go ahead and find a comfortable seat. And just start to get grounded in this moment. So close your eyes. Do a little bit of a body scan, starting at the top of your head, at your crown. Start at your head and notice where you feel sensation or tenderness in your head, in your shoulders, in the back of your shoulders, in the back heart space, maybe in the front, or your belly, or your hips. And just scan all the way down your body, noticing if any places feel tight. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. Inhale again through your nose. Exhale out through the mouth. One more big breath in, filling up your belly, your chest, and your throat. Sigh it out. Notice if you're kind of leaning forward in space, and go ahead and take your shoulders back over top of your hips. Sit up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders back on the spine. And plug yourself into this moment. And one of my favorite teachers offered this cue, which I love, which is just to take your finger pads and place them on your clavicle and then push down a little bit. So if your clavicle is the bone right here, right kind of on top of your ribs. And then you're going to come into the center where you feel the little divot of your chest and take your fingers down. So this tip is actually where your lungs end, right? So if you were to imagine your lungs kind of circulating through your chest, the tips of them are right underneath this little space, right at the edges of your clavicles. So you can really apply some pressure there. It feels really good. And for the next 4 breaths, I invite you to breathe in and fill your breath all the way up to your finger pads. And see if you can almost, by inflating your chest, kind of push the fingers off of your chest. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Go ahead and take 4 breaths, focusing on filling up to the finger pads. release your hands on top of your knees. You can keep your palms facing up if you'd like to invite something into your life today. And you can take your palms hugging the kneecaps if you just need a little bit more grounding, a little bit more stability. Just take a moment of stillness. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, pull them in towards heart center. Inhale, reach up, look up at your fingers this time. Stretch long, see if you can sit up nice and tall. And then sigh it out, take the elbows out to the sides. Squeeze the scapula on the back. You might feel some cracking, you might hear mine. And then go ahead and lace the arms behind the back. You're kind of making a little knuckle basket behind your back. And then just pull the arms away from your back. Sit up nice and tall. It might feel good to take your head up. And then let's come forward and down and reach the arms up overhead. Go ahead and rise up. And let's take a little side bend. Take your left hand outside of your hip and reach the right arm up overhead, looking past the arm. Taking a few nice deep breaths here. Keep sitting down through the right hip. Feel the elongation in your side body. Pinky turn towards the earth. Inhale, sit up. And exhale, go the other way. I have a little wall here. That's good. Keep rooting down through the hip. And inhale, rise up. Let's go ahead and do that again. So inhale, reach your palms up together. Let's take a side bend over to your left. Notice if you can go a little bit deeper this time, maybe spreading the hands a little bit further away from the leg. So nice. Then rise up and go the other way. Good. Let's sit up to center. And let's take a gentle twist over to the left. Take your right arm across. Keep your head in line with your shoulders. Just gently twist. Come back to center. Let's go the other way. It's really nice if you have a pillow because I'm gripping on the back and using that as a little bit of a lever. Good. And now switch the cross of your legs. Take the opposite heel on top. And let's just kind of warm up the shoulders and the head and neck. So roll the shoulders. Let's just take some nice shoulder rolls. Coming forward. And then going back. You might spend a lot of time hunched over, either feeding your baby or maybe if you're already back to work, sitting in front of the computer. Rolling the shoulder. Good, and let's just do some kind of simulated cat-cow. So take a big breath in, open up the heart, and then give yourself a hug. Curl the spine, curl, 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 curl. Then inhale, open. And opposite arm on top. One more time, both ways. Wrap yourself up in some self-love and some devotion. And then inhale last time. Good. And now let's go ahead and bring some motion into our head and neck. So you might not even notice how much tightness you have, especially in the back of the head. So we're going to start to take some head circles and rolls. You can move your shoulders along with it, but go ahead and pause anywhere that it feels tight. So don't feel like you need to just fling your head around. Really kind of pronounce the motion and let yourself take up space, stretching all the muscles of the neck, both in the front side and the back. And let's take 2 really juicy circles in one direction. And then in the other. Bring yourself up to center. Take your palms into your heart. Just take a moment of gratitude for your body, for its resiliency, for its health, for its strength. Go ahead and move the pillow if you're sitting on one like me. And let's go ahead and just start with a nice forward fold. So extend your feet forward. You can move the flesh out from under your sits bones. And then kind of make sure that your big toes are pointing forward. Take a big breath in, reach your arms up, and then fold over the legs. You want to stop folding where you feel the urge to curl. So keep your back nice and long so you're also engaging the legs and getting a nice calf stretch. So keep hugging the toes towards your face. And a nice little trick is if you flex the toes towards your face but push the big toes forward, you really feel that calf engagement. And then going deeper, if you can keep a nice flat back. Just taking some nice breaths. And then curl your spine and just let yourself fold over your leg. Go to where it feels good for you. Now from here, we're gonna come into a reverse tabletop. So this is a really kind of engaging pose, but we can use it to release some steam. So you're gonna take your feet forward, bent at about a 90-degree angle, palms a little bit behind the hips. And on the inhale, you're gonna reach your hips up towards the sky. And if it feels good, you can take your head back. So it looks like this, just a reverse table. And if your head is in line with your shoulders, you can keep it there. Otherwise, you can take your head back. And we're going to take some lion's breaths here. So you're going to inhale through your nose. And then you're going to exhale, stick your tongue out. Again. Good. Sit back onto your bottom. Cross your ankles in front. And let's roll over onto our hands and knees. And I'm just going to turn around so that I'm facing this way. And you're going to start to find some cat-cows. So inhale, you take your heart forward and up. Exhale, curl your belly back towards your spine, reaching all of the vertebrae up towards the sky. And then inhale, come forward and down. And exhale, curl up. And just close your eyes here and let the movement be free and fluid. You can stick with the cat-cow, or you can just start to kind of wiggle out your body any way that feels good. Working out your shoulders. Just take a couple moments for yourself, moving any way that you need. Waking up your body. About 8 more breaths. Be creative. What parts of your body need to stretch? Bring some movement into your chest, into your hips. Good. Now we're going to sink our hips back towards our heels. This is called a child's pose. Keep reaching your arms forward. You can have your arms stretched forward. If it feels better for your back, you can curl your hands by your feet. And just take your head down. This is a great resting pose. You can also make a little fist pillow, stacking one fist on top of the other. You can always find this pose if you need a little break. Good. Come up to hands and knees. We're going to take a modified vinyasa. So you're going to step your feet back. You're going to shift your hips forward, kind of like you're coming into a plank, but you're actually having your knees down. And then as you shift forward, you're going to bend the elbows in towards your body and release your chin and your chest to the ground. And then slither forward into your cobra. And then press back either to child's pose or all the way back to downward facing dog. Just take 5 breaths here. Step your right foot in between your hands and lower down to your left knee. Climb up, taking the hands, weaving them on top of the right thigh, and sit down into the legs. So you're really feeling the opening in the right hamstring and the left quad, or vice versa depending on which leg is forward. But keep hugging the belly away from the leg. If it feels good for you, you can reach the arms up overhead. And just breathe here, let the opening come into your body. We're going to open up the shoulders a little bit, weave the hands behind the back, and slide the arms down the back thigh, maybe opening your heart up a little bit. And then come back to center, frame the right foot, and step the right foot back to meet the left. Let's work on a little bit of core. So you're going to extend the left leg back, squaring out the hips. And if you feel your belly starting to fire up, awesome. You can stay right here. Keep spinning the inner left thigh up towards the side, and then maybe extend the right arm forward. I can't fully extend my arm, but imagine my right arm is fully extended. You can even take and make kind of like a chicken wing here. You're going to inhale. Exhale, curl elbow to knee. 3 more. Inhale. Elbow to knee. 1 more time. Inhale. Elbow to knee. Reach out and expand. Drop the right hand, lower the left knee, and either take your hips back into child's pose or extend back into your downward facing dog. Are we getting on time? Okay. Good. And take about 5 more breaths. Step your left foot in between the hands. Drop the right knee down to the ground. We're going to take the same flow on the other side. Weave the palms on top of the left thigh and bend into the legs. You want to keep a 90-degree bend in the front knee. And keep hugging the belly back, engaging your Mula Bandha. That's kind of the musculature. It's called a root lock in kind of yoga terminology, but really you're engaging the muscles between your belly button and your groin So you're hugging them back away from the left thigh, and in that way you allow the opening to come into your legs, and you're still protecting your lower back from kind of sinking in and doing an exaggerated curve. And if this feels good, you can reach your arms up to the sky like we did on the other side. And then lace the hands behind the back. Slide them down the back leg, reaching your heart up to the sky. Come forward and down. Step the left knee back to meet the right knee. And take a couple more waves of cat-cow before we do our ab work on the other side. Now, extend your right leg back behind you. Square out the hips. Make sure the inner right thigh is reaching up towards the sky. Shoulders are stacked over top of the wrists. And extend the left arm forward, perhaps making that little chicken wing that we did on the other side. Feel the power in your belly. And then exhale, bring your elbow to your knee. Do that 3 more times, inhaling long, exhaling, contracting. Inhaling long, exhaling, contracting. I think we need one more, but one more for good measure. Inhale long, exhale, release or contract. And then inhale, expand out, stretch, stretch, stretch. Drop the left hand down, and let's take a vinyasa like we did before. So shifting forward, tucking the toes under, hugging the elbows in towards your body. It's kind of like a little push-up, and then slide forward onto your belly. This time we're gonna stay here. You're gonna take your elbows underneath your shoulders and roll your shoulders back away from the ears. Press into the tops of the feet, so you could almost lift your knees off of the ground, really nice and engaged. Now, those of us who are living in larger bodies, our bellies are going to be on the ground, which is perfectly normal. But visualize, engage, imagine that you're lifting your belly button off of the ground. You might be able to lift it a little bit, and by lifting your belly off of the ground, you get a little bit more space in your spine to reach your chest forward, the shoulders over away from the ears. This is actually a really active pose. This is our cobra pose. And then press back to your child. And from here, you're going to rise up and come to stand. So I'm like completely pressed back against the wall. I want to work a little bit on just standing and how we stand. It's called mountain pose, but it's Tadasana in Sanskrit. And it's all about standing with integrity and owning your space. And it's actually a really engaged shape when we do it with integrity and with dignity towards the posture itself. So what you're going to do is we're all going to face the side, and we're going to work from our feet all the way up to our crown. So start by really pressing into your feet, so much so that you can lift your toes off of the ground. So really you're just pressing the heel and this little pad underneath your toes onto the ground. And then lift the inner arches of the feet up. Bend the knees slightly so they're not locked and engaged. Bend them a little bit. Engage up the length of the legs. So you're already feeling all of that power down through the legs. Now you're going to hug the belly towards the spine. So instead of standing forward this way or all the way back this way, you're kind of finding a middle ground where you're working on the Mula Bandha. And then lift the energy up the belly, roll the shoulders back and down, squeeze between the scapula, take your palms forward and close your eyes. I'm going to face you and let's just breathe into Tadasana. For about 5 breaths, own your power, own your strength. You can release your toes down to the ground now. Reach the arms up overhead. Grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand and fold over to your right or your left. I don't know if this is going to actually mirror you. Inhale to center. Go the other way. Inhale to center. Take a nice wide-legged stance and fold over your legs, coming into a forward bend. It might feel good to rock your hands, hold on to your opposite shoulders, your elbows, and just sway. Sometimes it feels good to wiggle your head out. Let everything go. And again, just like we did in the beginning, grab hold of your knuckles, keep the knees bent, and take the knuckles forward. And then we're going to sit down into a squat. Bring the elbows in towards the inner thighs. Sit up nice and tall, palms in towards your chest. Sit back down to your bottom. So you can come back to a comfortable seat for a little closing meditation. You can also take your legs up the wall. I'm going to demonstrate legs up the wall. It's a really great inversion just to get some blood flow back down to your heart and brain. It's really stabilizing if you feel anxious or stressed. And we're going to hang out there just for a couple minutes. I think we're running close on our 30-minute limit. It goes by so fast. But you can, of course, stay here for as long as it feels good. And you can even prop a pillow underneath your bottom. So you're going to wiggle towards the wall and get your hip on the wall. And then you slide your legs up like this. Oh, then you hang out. And sometimes it feels good to take the pillow under your back. Wow. It doesn't give me space for my hands, so I'm not going to do that. But if you have a smaller pillow, it can work well. So just hang out wherever you are for as long as it feels good for you. And then really gently bring yourself to center when you're ready. But it was wonderful to spend this time with you. And I hope that your body feels a little bit stretched out and a little bit more integrated with your whole being. It was nice to meet you. Take care.